Okay, thank you. Bye. Hey everyone, welcome back. In today's video, I would like to talk about performative cis allies, like cis people that like ally themselves to trans people incorrectly. And I'm going to try not to make this a very angry or spiteful video because a lot of people are genuinely trying to help, but it can be frustrating sometimes. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. If you're new here, please stick around to the end of the video and like it if you liked it, and check out more videos on my channel. Alright, thank you. Okay, so I'm going to start this video by describing a story from a party that I went to at the beginning of last summer. I went to a party, and usually most of the parties that I go to, I know a lot of the people there. At this party, I knew nobody except the one person that had invited me. It was his birthday. And so I showed up and just started mingling. You know, I'm pretty decent at getting along in a party and like making friends and talking to people. So I was like getting to know people, having fun. And this was also the point at which I had only just begun to realize that I was passing pretty consistently. Like most of the time, people were gendering me female, and that was amazing. I was feeling great about that, and I was like dressing like super femme and like kind of revealing all the time because it was summer, and I was very happy about my body image. I still am now, but like I was just thrilled to be passing so well. So while I was at this party, there was this one guy who like had tried to make conversation with me, but I thought that he was like kind of boring or like annoying or otherwise unpleasant to talk to. So I moved on from him pretty quickly, and I also probably had a couple drinks at this point. But anyway, I end up back in like a circle of people with this guy again, and we're talking, and then like once the circle of people dissipates, it's kind of like me and this guy are like the last people kind of standing in this area, and I'm like about to walk away to go find some of the other people I met at this party and talk to them again. But before I do that, the guy comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, so what are you?" And I'm like, "Excuse me? Excuse me? What do you mean?" He's like, "So are you like a girl to boy or like the other way around?" And I'm like, male to female. I'm a trans woman. And he's like, "Oh yeah, that's great. You know, I was just checking. Like I just wanted to make sure I had it right. And you know what, like I really support you guys. Like I support everything about you. I just want you to know that." And I'm like, "Okay, thank you. Bye." And then I just didn't talk to him again for the rest of this party. But that was such a cringe interaction. Like, oh my god, that guy was such a fucking weirdo. That was such a weird thing to say. And okay, so like I feel like the way he sees it in his head, especially being all like, "Oh yeah, I'm supportive of you, don't worry." It's like he thinks that he's like some sort of like great like trans ally, like supporting trans people. But how is that supportive? How are you essentially just came up to me and clocked me and said, "Hey, I want you to know that I can tell that you're transgender. I know. Don't think you got away with it, I know." And also on top of that, is there really any way that anybody could think that I'm female to male transgender, that I'm a trans mask person? That does not add up. Do I look transmasculine to any of you? Actually, don't answer that. I don't want to know. But I just thought that was very weird, and I don't know what he would tell himself. Like, if he would tell himself that that was like a good, like, epic, like, LGBT ally, like, supportive moment. But, like, I cannot see that as anything other than, like a very subtle, like, harassment, and, like, literally, like, he was just only telling me this to let me know that he clocked me. Like, what was the purpose of that? Okay, giving him the benefit of the doubt, maybe he is like an egg, and he thought or like he is also having like gender identity issues, but like he's like just not very graceful, or like doesn't know like etiquette about talking to trans people, and like he doesn't know any other trans people, and he like could tell that I was trans because he like spends a lot of time and like, I don't know, looking at trans online spaces, hopefully not looking at like trans prawn. I already said the F word, so I'm not gonna like get past the YouTube what content warning thing. But hopefully he didn't. Hopefully he wasn't a chaser, is all I'm saying. Most benefit of the doubt, like best case scenario, he's like an egg, like a transfem egg who hasn't figured themselves out yet, and just wanted to talk to me about being trans and did it in a very non-graceful way. I would like to hope that that was what this person was experiencing, but really it seemed like he was just like some weird cis dude power tripping on being able to let me know that he clocked me, and that was not pleasant. The other, like, that was the worst example of this, but like the other scenarios that I've had are like people asking me what my pronouns are, which is technically a good thing. Like, it's good to be inclusive and like respectful of people's pronouns, but again, it's just like most of the time when people ask for my pronouns these days, it's because they can tell that I'm trans and they want to be respectful and like use my like preferred pronouns, but it hurts just a little bit to even know that they clocked me, to even know that they figured out I was trans. There was this one person, I guess this is like diverging from the topic of the video a little bit, but there's this one person, she was like a homeless woman outside of like a corner store in my neighborhood, and I was on my way to a party. You'll notice a lot of the things in my life are stories that revolve around going to parties. But anyway, so I was on my way to a party, and I had just stopped in this corner store to buy myself some alcohol before I go to the party, and this woman asked me if I could buy her like this alcoholic drink and like a couple of cigars, and I was like, yeah, sure. But she was like, you know, she was probably like on some sort of substance and like not completely there at the very moment that I was talking to her, and she was like kind of like taking a moment to describe what she wanted and like just talking in a somewhat unorganized way, and eventually she like is like kind of going through her like unorganized speech, but then stops herself and looks at me and says, "Are you a girl?" And I was like, "Yeah, I am a girl." What? And she's like, "You got a weird voice. Are you sure you're a girl?" I think I might have told this story in one of my other videos, but it's like, I do not like being clocked, okay? And I will go to very extreme lengths to avoid being clocked, like I talked about in my video, Obsessed with Passing, which is one of the first ones on this channel. But like, cis people, even when they're trying to be respectful, like, just do not know how to like politely interact with trans people. Like, even people that think that like they're like good allies or they're being respectful or whatever, they just like ask weird questions. Like, I don't know, I don't think that there is a solution to this issue. I don't even think it is that big of an issue. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm still a rather privileged white binary, whatever the fuck that means. I'm still a rather privileged white trans woman who passes more than I don't pass, and if people don't always assume my pronouns correctly and then they have to ask before they use them correctly, not the end of the world for me. It's fine. But it's just the little things that like you can't help but notice every single day of being transgender that add up, even if they're not the end of the world. It's like this omnipresent thing where you always have to be, you're always looking out for that next time somebody is going to be just passively rude to you or like ignorant or just make you slightly uncomfortable just because you're trans and you confuse people and they are uncomfortable with you. And that is the reality of being trans. But I wouldn't trade it away. I love being trans. I love being myself. I love being a girl. This is just a minor first world privileged white passing trans girl complaint. Don't take it too seriously. But cis people out there, please do your research on the proper etiquette for talking to trans people, asking them questions about their transness, and like how to just be polite. Just be a polite human being. Okay, thank you everybody for watching. Like I said, if you like this video, please like it and leave a comment, or check out another video on my channel. They should be right here, right here, I think. Okay, have a good day everyone. Bye!